Okay, so let's take a look at this AI writing lark then and see what it's all about. And, maybe you'll see something in here that you can use. I want to talk first about the different types that there are on the marketplace. And basically, they all use the same thing in the background, which is this Open AI GPT-3 thing, right? It's a neural network powered language learning thing. I don't understand it, to be quite honest with you, but it's studied, this AI machine thing has studied over 1 trillion or trillions of pages of content, and it's learned how to write. It doesn't grab stuff necessarily, or scrape stuff. It creatively writes based on seeing examples of writing on trillions upon trillions of pages. And also, as we use it and rate the writing that it does, it actually learns better. So we're contributing to making it better. Now, back a while ago when I first became aware of this, they weren't much good. It was all a bit experimental. Now they really are taking off. And you're going to see a lot of products coming along. There are already products coming along that are tapping into this GTP3 and having products. Now, most of them, well, all of them really have to be on a subscription basis because it costs money to call stuff from GPT-3. So if you have a lifetime deal on one, unless you keep putting people into it and keep putting people into it, and you hope that you don't get too many power users, you might at some point go out of business. So I'd be wary if you see these things, and they will do. These things will start popping up on JVZoo over the next few months. You know, the normal, the usual suspects of circle jerkers will get their developers in Bangladesh or wherever they have them, and they'll knock up something that calls this thing and an interface, and they'll put a fancy sales page together, and it's not sustainable. Having said that, I do have something for you later on, but anyway. So these platforms that use this, the ones that have come along so far, fall into two main categories, right? There's category number one is what you call a form-based type of interface, and the other is a blank canvas. And this is normally does long form copy, and this does shorter for the most part. So what I mean by that is in these ones, if you want to write a Facebook ad, there will be a form that you fill in, and because it sends off what you put in there, it probably adds in some things that make it read like an advert when it sends it off to Open AI GPT-3. And if you want to write a blog post, it might recognize that that's the style of writing that you want. I can't see why else they would have these forms or have it in this format. The other thing is a little bit of smoke and mirrors going on, because what they can do is they can say, oh, we've made it now, do blog posts for you. Well, it always could do blog posts, but they just made a form so you click it to do blog posts. So it's a little bit, so they can say, we've added extra templates, we've added extra forms. Doesn't really mean very much. The other type, the blank type, is normally a lot cleaner, and you can do everything that you can do in the forms, but you'll need to do it in one canvas. Now, the advantage of that is that it's a lot simpler to learn how to use, and you're not hopping between, getting a headline in one tool and then copying them and then putting that into another part of it to write a content brief, and then taking the content brief and putting in another thing to write your long form copy. And, you know, you're not hopping around through all of these different confusing forms all the time. You can do it all in one place. So with that, let's have a look at the three that I've been having a look at, and actually not just having a look at, but actually delving in, buying them, and going into them, right? So this is the one that's making the big noise at the moment, Conversions.ai. The next one is shortly. If I go to the home page, basically that's that. And then the other one is this one called Nichesss, or whatever. And this one and this one are form-based interfaces. So if I scroll down here, you can see here that basically these are the templates that you use if you want to create some sales copy using AIDA framework, you know, attention, interest, desire, action. You click on that and you put in your brief, you tell it what you want to write and what you want it to write about, and it will come back and write for you. Creative story, a blog post topic ideas, blog post intro paragraph, outline, feature to benefit, Facebook ad headline. So, you know, you click on whatever it is that you want it to do, and it does that. But that does mean that you then have to, you know, flick around quite a bit. This one is the same sort of deal. I don't know whether there's nowhere on here that you can actually see this, but you know, it works the same way. And this one is blank, right? So this, you just basically, you can see it here. I'll go into the back end in a minute. It's just like a document, like a Google Doc or something, and all the magic happens just in there. And you can get it to do all the same things that this one and this one will do, but it all just happens in one canvas, and it's clean, and you've only got a few controls down the side. It just makes life a lot easier. Okay, so those are the different types. Let's have a look at the pricing on these. Now, the guys that are behind Conversion.ai are the same guys that were behind Proof, if you remember that. It's still around. You know the little notifications that come on a sales page saying somebody just bought this, somebody just bought this. They made a lot of money doing that. They made a lot of money because they were selling that access to their platform for their software for $99 a month. Now, I bought Provely 2 or 3 years ago, which does exactly the same thing. It's not making any API calls. There's no expense involved with it. Provely cost me $97 for lifetime, right? And they were charging $99 a month. So these guys like to up the price. You know, they like to get some money in off of you. And they've got all the hype and everything else, you know, and to justify it somehow or other. So let's have a look at the pricing here. And this will put most people off. But I went in and I delved in and I bought this, right? It's $109 a month. And you wouldn't want to bother with this one. It's useless. If you're going to get this, you'd get this one, right? And I went and bought it and I played with it for an afternoon. Now, I played with it for an afternoon and I did over 15,000 word generation, right? And so that starter plan at $29 a month, I'd have burned that up in just over an afternoon of just playing with it. Not even, that's just learning how to use it, and how it worked, and knowing my way around. So I'd have burnt up my monthly credits in an afternoon, basically. So that's not worth bothering about. So it's going to cost you $109 a month. And you may be thinking, well, I spend $200 a month on content, on writers. So if it's going to do that for me, that's half the price. Hey, I'm impressed. But why spend that much money when you don't have to? you see, if we look at the pricing here, so that's going to cost you $1,300 a year. This does exactly the same thing, and most people say it does the same thing in a simpler way, right? And the pricing on this is $25 a month if you buy it on a yearly plan. So that's $300 a year you're going to spend on this. $1,300 a year you're going to spend on that. Now, guys, I've been in the back end of this testing it out. I've been in the back end of this testing it out. There's no way I could justify an extra $1,000 a year for using this one. No way I could justify that. It was not there. In fact, I find this one easier to use. And this one, well, looking at these pricing, this is nowhere near as good as Conversion.ai, in my opinion. Some people say it is. I'm not ever so convinced that it's as good as Conversion.ai. But it's 99 a month, so if you're going to buy this, you might as well get Conversion.ai. It's 10 a difference. But I warned you earlier about lifetime deals. This one has got a limited lifetime deal on AppSumo at the moment. So if you wanted to grab hold of this, let me tell you what I've done. And I'll tell you what I've done now. I refunded this. Right, I closed my account and refunded it. This one I bought the annual plan on, and I bought the AppSumo deal on this. And the reason I did that was this has got maybe some potential in the future, and it works in a slightly different way to this. So I can see myself probably using it for certain things. I've got 60 days to decide whether I keep it or not on AppSumo. So it may be in the end I just refund it. But at the moment, this doesn't do long form copy, just short. So they say they're going to put long form in here. I'll see if they charge me extra for that. I don't know. I might just get a refund and stick with shortly. If I was going to go for any of these, just to pick one out of the three, definitely it would be shortly from what I've experienced so far. Even with the lifetime deal happening on this on AppSumo, and I'll put a link to all these things below the thing for you, so you can go and have a look at them after the video. So this is the one that I am recommending. Right, it's very, very, very simple. So let's go in it, and I'll show you around. Well, look, you open it up. You say, what do you want? What are you writing? And it's simple, non-fiction or fiction, right? You want to write a story, click that one. You want to write a blog article or some sales copy or something, write that one. So you click on that and instantly you're into the canvas, right? So you put your blog article here. So before I do that, let's go back and show you some of the stuff that I've written already. This one, that's 770 words. I did that this morning, and it took me about 25 minutes sorting it out. And I've put it through Copyscape. It's completely unique. I just basically added some prompts in here and told it what to write about, and all this writing, basically, it did itself. It came up with the tips. It came up with these additional tips. It came up with the conclusion at the end, and it reads really well. I mean, it's as good as what I would do myself, I would imagine, and it's certainly as good as any writer that would written content I would get from a writer. Let's go into this one. So I didn't think this one came out quite so well, but we got there in the end, and it took me about 20 minutes, about 40 minutes to do this one. This one is almost 1,000-word article, and it's basically a guide to what you want to do when you start running. And I've done it in a friendly way, and a few years ago I'd never run more than 5 to 10 minutes, never run at all, and so here's some tips if you want to get started like I did, and then basically you know, you've got there's 8, 9 tips there, and then a conclusion at the end. Didn't take long at all. This one, if I haven't really tidied it up properly, I've just finished it and left it. But what I would do now, I've got a 1,000-word article. I know most of it is good. What I'd do now is I just probably read through it and maybe take some things out or reword some things. And I could do that in the app if I want to, rather than having to do it myself. Find some things it may be better to rewrite, and then pass it through Grammarly to make sure it's grammatically okay. And that's good. I've checked it in Copyscape. It comes up absolutely clean as a whistle. So this is completely original content, and you know, I could use this article myself. I could write 4 more and sell them in a pack of 5 PLR. I could start a blog, and I could, do one of these every couple of days. I've got content, good quality content, unique content, and, content that people are going to want to see. So I'll show you how it works very, very roughly. How to, I don't know, we'll write an article on something. How to stop my dog from barking. Okay, now I don't know if it's going to do this any well or not, and we'll see, won't we? I mean, it will probably come up with a lot of rubbish. And you kind of have to, it's a bit like a dance. You dance with it, but it's fun. It's not like writing. It's not like, I've got to do this. It's kind of fun to see how it comes up. It's kind of cool to watch it do some amazing stuff, right? So I'm going to, you have to tell it what to do, right? And one thing I do want here is an article brief, right? So I'm going to ask it to write an article brief. Write an article brief for how to stop my dog from barking. Oops. How to stop my dog from barking. So what you do, you've got these commands down here, and there's a rewrite, a shorten, and an expand. Those are you can only do those with a small amount of text, but the instruct one is really what you're going to use most, because you're instructing it on what you want it to do. Okay, so basically I highlight it, and instructing says Control and Enter. Works on a Mac as well, so don't worry if you're a Mac user. And we'll see what it comes up with. It's going to write now. It's going to have a look at. There are many reasons why your dog might be barking, and most of them can be fixed. Observe your dog for clues that will tell you what is making him bark, and go from there. So I'm going to put write an article about I don't know whether this will work, but I'm going to take that out now. And I'm going to click write for me. And the great fun is that you never know what it's going to come up with. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. So now what I can do is the reasons, or actually I can, what are the main 3 reasons why a dog keeps barking? Okay, and I'm just going to say write for me, and what it's doing now is looking at context. I don't like that very much, but we'll continue because the next point might be okay. let's redo that. You can click redo and it will redo it. Let's continue. Okay, so there's 3 reasons why your dog keeps barking. So let's get rid of that for a minute. And what I want to do is I want to understand how to stop excessive barking. Okay. I don't necessarily want to stop my dog barking, because if he's barking at an intruder, that's fine. Excessive barking is where it becomes a problem. Okay, so that looks good. So I could just put another reason could be that it might be a case of separate anxiety. Can't really do much to fix this. Okay. Now I can, this pops up every now and again, and it's really quite good, because this is where the AI is learning. Okay, so I'm going to say this is okay. I'm not going to say it's great. I'm going to say it's okay, because this is going to need a lot of work. But I've got 336 words already, and if I wanted to just have it look at this subject and not go back here and look at that for context, if I put 3 slashes in here and then click write for me, it's only going to look at the brief that's in here and up to there. Okay, that's good. Hello, Mel. Regularly hear footsteps coming to the door. The dog may have picked up on that is now barking to try and protect you, which is very sweet. However, it can be very disruptive for you, so it's best to teach them that you are the one who will protect your house. I would, I think I would actually write a couple of sentences there myself on the fact that, yeah, you want them to alert you to strangers coming, but you also want them to shut up when you tell them to. So you can adapt that. Okay, it's kind of written for you, but you can adapt it. Okay, so far on this, I've got 419 words on an article, let's just take one of these paragraphs. Okay, let's take this one, for example. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it through Copyscape. Now, it's not always going to be wrong page. It's not always going to be completely unique, but we'll see. Yeah, no results found. Absolutely clean as a whistle. Okay, in fact, what I can do, why not? Let's take the rest of the article that we've got so far, copy it, and we'll plunk it in here. Again, absolutely clean as a whistle. Okay, so this is unique content, and it's taken no time at all. It's done all the writing for me pretty much. I can do other things. I can ask it to do other things like write some headlines for how to stop dogs barking. And if I just do Control Enter, okay, that's quite good actually. No, I'm going to say okay because I didn't like this bit at the bottom. So there's some headline ideas it's come up with. Let's see if it will write a introduction to article stopping excessive dog barking. I don't know whether it will do this. I'm experimenting as I go as well. No, it's just now pulling in all sorts of rubbish, which I don't need. So that didn't work so well. Let's try that. Just having a bit of a think about it, so maybe, there we go. That's not what we got there. That actually, I think, was very good. If you tried everything and the noise response, I'll give you a few tips how to handle it. First and foremost, identify the reason why dogs bark so much. By observing their behaviour carefully, clues what's troubling them. Be sure to size up the situation and source of your dog's bark is related to another problematic behaviour. You'll notice your dog's barking a lot for no reason. It's likely that they're bored. Okay, so if you get something that, like this, for example, okay, I'm going to do a rewrite on that. Okay, so I'm going to do Control and P, and it will just rewrite it. And then if you continue writing there, because it likes to, it will finish off the sentence for you. Okay, so that's basic dog training, which is basically what you're doing here. And now we're up to 645 words. Okay, so these obviously wouldn't be part of it. 615 words so far. So you can see that we're trotting on now towards 1,000-word article. And, you know, you just have to dance with it and test it out. And the great thing is that sometimes it just shocks you how brilliant it comes out. And it's amazing. Sometimes you get a little bit of rubbish coming through, but then you tell it, bad boy, bad AI, and it learns from it, you know. And if it comes up good, you give it a bit like training a dog, actually. And so, you know, I'm really impressed with it. I'm really impressed with the simplicity of it. I'm really impressed with, I'm just learning, you know. This is my second, third article I've tried to write with it, and it's not doing a bad job. Once I get used to it more and understand how to ask it to do things, that'll get quicker and better. So, you know, it's really quite interesting. So there you go. I'll put the links below for this. I would suggest, if you're interested in having a go with this, get a hold of Shortly, because I think it's the best of the bunch. But I'll put a link to all of them below. I know that Nichesss has got its fans, but I think they're probably people that haven't tried using Shortly yet. So I'll put links down below. And also, a good friend of mine, Andy Brocklehurst, has done a training on this, and I'll put that down below as well, because I bought that off of Andy, and it's kind of fast track on how to get your head around this as well. So that's worth getting. Believe me, he does a lot of good stuff in that training. Yeah, with that, I'll close this video. Links are below, guys. Thanks for watching.